a single cell throughout their lives. For example, these are E. coli bacteria. Millions of these microscopic creatures inhabit our intestines. Bacteria are very simple creatures. Unlike most cells, a bacterium doesn't even have a nucleus. But when it comes to reproducing, bacteria are marvels of efficiency. When a bacterium reproduces, it pinches in the middle. Then the cell divides in two. Each of the two new cells is exactly like the original one. Bacteria can reproduce very rapidly. Some types divide once every 20 minutes. At this rate, a single bacterium can become over 1 billion bacteria in less than 12 hours. This kind of reproduction is called asexual reproduction, because only one parent is needed to reproduce. Morning.
Yes, we do. I'm just making a video.